Hello, everyone. I am in the Christmas spirit, and I am Dr. Dream, and you're not. Just, for 10 minutes, we get to just be all jokey and giddy, and then everyone expects me to be Mr. Serious. As soon as I press record, it takes me a little bit of time. I am happy to welcome you to the It's All Good Circle. And tonight is December 22nd. So this is Monday the 22nd. Christmas is on Thursday. And so what a great time of year this is. Super excited for everything. But that's just kind of how I am. I will tell you that yesterday I did before I go into that, I started a group on Facebook called, I know, try not to get this overly creative, but I decided to call it the It's All Good Circle. And it's because I was doing events through my page, Dr. Dream, and it was cumbersome. So I've just created a thing, the It's All Good Circle. I don't expect many people to join, but I expect all of you to join. So I sent invitations to most of you. If you are willing and able to just type in your search bar, the It's All Good Circle, it'll come up. Join. It'll just be a nice little place for us all. I've said it before, I kind of thought this group was going to grow in leaps and bounds, but it didn't. But what it's turned into is a really beautiful community for those of us that show up every week. And I thought it might just be nice to have a little place for us to be online. We'll see how it goes, but it's also, by joining, you'll get notices about the next meeting and everything like that. So, yes, and I almost deleted my Dr. Dream account because I was trying to delete the first group I did, and when I deleted it, I deactivated my Dr. Dream account. I was like, no, and then I got it back, and so it was not too bad today. Yesterday, I did a Zoom call with a group from all over the world preparing for the Eclipse Festival in Iceland in August of 2026. And I thought it was going to be a Zoom call talking about stuff we're going to do and ideas for the festival. And it wasn't at all. It was this lovely woman doing a beautiful sharing about the solstice. So it was fascinating because I wouldn't have gone had I known that's what it was, just being honest. But I liked it. And one of the things, let me read what came out of it. I was asked recently what the last year has meant to me and what the lessons were. What surprised me was how quickly the answer came and how calm it felt when it arrived. The year was about allowing the signs, allowing the messages, allowing the flow to take shape, even when it did not match my original plans. I had ideas about how things would unfold. I had visions of timing, structure, and outcomes. And yet, as the year moved forward, life had its own intelligence. I repeat this a lot, that old saying, man plans, God laughs. And this year helped me understand that line, not as a joke at our expense, but as an invitation into humility and trust. Things did not always show up the way I imagined they would. Some doors opened unexpectedly, gotta love those. Some closed without drama, also gotta love those. Some paths took longer than I anticipated, while others revealed themselves all at once. What made this year different was not what happened, but how I related to what happened. I did not let myself get caught in resistance. I did not attach myself to a single outcome. I did not turn detours into disappointments. That does not mean I stopped caring or stopped envisioning. It means I held my ideas lightly. I stayed present enough to notice when life was nudging me in a different direction and relaxed enough to follow. Looking back now, I can see why things played out the way they did. What once felt uncertain now feels coherent. What once felt delayed now feels precisely timed. Not because everything went right, but because I stayed in relationship with the unfolding rather than fighting it. There is a deep peace that comes from releasing the need to force meaning onto every moment. Peace does not come from controlling outcomes. It comes from trusting that you are being met even when the meeting looks different than expected. I had to distill the lessons of the year, and I came up with this. Listen more than you push. The signs are quieter than the ego, but far more precise. Hold visions without gripping them. Intentions breathe better when they are not clenched. Let timing teach you patience and perspective. What is late often arrives wiser. Measure success by inner state, not external milestones. What I feel now is not triumph or relief, it is contentment. A relaxed happiness, a sense that I stayed with myself through the uncertainty instead of abandoning my center for the illusion of certainty. This year reminded me that alignment is not about getting everything you planned. It is about remaining available to what is real, what is alive, and what is asking to move through you next. And when you live in that way, very little can truly knock you off course. So that was nice. I, accidentally, magically, by no mistake, ended up on that solstice call and was put into a place where I maybe wouldn't have asked myself that question of what the last year has meant for me and what lessons have I learned. I think it's a good thing for all of us to kind of look at in our own lives. It's been a year and it's been your year. And so I just wanted to share that with all of us. Tonight's topic is, what are you listening to inside right now? Listening is a frequency practice. In a world filled with constant noise, opinions, and expectations, it can be easy to lose touch with the quieter signals within us. This week's It's All Good Circle is an open, interactive conversation about the inner voices and frequencies that are guiding our thoughts, emotions, and choices right now. Together, tonight, we will gently explore what has been speaking the loudest inside us, where those messages may have come from, and what shifts when we pause long enough to truly listen. This is not about fixing or changing anything. It is about awareness, curiosity, and reconnecting with the wisdom that already lives within each of us. So come as you are, share as much or as little as you like, listen deeply. You may very well be surprised by what becomes clearer when the noise softens and the signal strengthens. So that's our topic for tonight. I think since I just shared, I'm going to go ahead and open up the mic for Phil, who just loves to go second, begs me all the time to go first, and I say, no, I won't let you. And so tonight, Phil's laughing. So tonight, I'm just letting you take the reins. Phil, are you there?
I am here.
Awesome.
So if this were comedy night, I would say that my inner self is listening to my wife, but she would know better. And she's not here, so I can say that. That's a very interesting topic, because as I thought about it, there's an energy that sort of dwells within me that um, sometimes tries to take me off track of where I want to be going or what I want to be doing. And it's not a bad thing. It's really a good energy, but it's, sometimes I have to kind of put a calm to it. And so, the thing about what am I really listening to, it's there's a frustration sometimes that boils up within me that I really don't know where it comes from, because we have this drive to do things and to be present and be active, and that's a real strong sort of a mix of emotions and things that go on. And then we have to go back inside of ourselves and try to focus on what I call be. And so, yeah, it's a really tough subject for me, because it's things that I guess, to be honest, that I probably try to avoid. Maybe that's why I stay so busy, because I'm avoiding something. Don't really know what it is. Don't know what it has to be. But as I'm sitting here talking about it, I'm like, okay, so what is that all about? I really don't know. And I don't know if I ever will. Um, it, I will say this, is that I've been reading, Susie has been sending me some of her writings, and I read some of that and I go, wow, where is all that coming from? Um, and I admire that, because I like to write, but I write a lot of short things, um and I don't know that I really go deep inside and do that. Um so I'm gonna open it up for other people right now, because I'm gonna have to sit here and listen and pay attention to what other people might find, from looking inside. And yeah, I have to be honest, it's an interesting thing. I feel totally blessed with who we are, who we're surrounded with, who we surround ourselves with, my family, all of that. And so, yeah, I'm listening, I guess, right now to blessings. Um, I might say, well, I'm listening to Christmas music. Um,
I was going to say, is that Mariah Carey in the background?
yeah, yeah, and that's beautiful. Um, but yeah, it's confusing to me. As I thought I had something to say, all of a sudden it's like, wow, what is it? I don't know.
Well, Phil, thank you. And
Yeah,
this could be the very first time I feel like that you've gone through this process. You still
right.
talked as much as you normally talk, but you were just talking around it. And so, no,
Well, exactly. And that it's this whole thing, as I started to talk, like stumped me. And yeah, I'll admit it. That's interesting.
well, you know what? It was very honest and very raw and true to you, authentic, and I appreciate that. So thank you. It felt really good to hear you say everything you said. So I'm just going to go in the order that I see people. So Susie, I'm going to let you go ahead and go next.
Okay, so the past week, and it's really interesting because I have been there's a distinction between awareness and presence that I sort of overlooked. And awareness has gotten me really far and has lots of insights um, and presence, it's like I've been present for some moments, not all of them, but then I've been aware of some moments that I kind of rush through. And in that rushing, I notice, it's like I'm noticing non-judgmentally about something that is off, and I'm just kind of skipping over it and not really going deep into it. And so I am moving the moment. I'm not present for the moment. And so something shifted about a week ago when I was looking at eating, how I eat. And what came up when I let the fork sit on the plate is panic and fear. And I I sat there with it and I thought, wow, this is really interesting. And so when I kind of had to pick it apart because that's what I do. And I realized that I wasn't scarcity and fear will kind of their relationship is with speed. And so we just kind of move through the moment quickly, and then we don't have to really think about it that much. We've noticed it over here. It's like, okay, yes, I'm aware of that. I've noticed it. I'm just going to keep moving on, but then that keeps popping up. And so what happened was it's not an insight. It lives in the nervous system. And so when I sat there with the food, and it's not just the food. The food was just a catalyst for where I have been in that place of if I waited, I wasn't going to get what I wanted. If I waited too long, I had to have what I wanted right now, or I'm not going to have it. So, um, so eating became like that. How I spend money was like that. Um, a lot of things were like that. I would just move through it quickly because then I could gratify the moment quickly rather than be present with the moment. And so what I've been doing lately is because this thing that's in the nervous system, when I was present with it, it was like I became hospitable. I became sort of more of a companion to that moment and allowed it to be what it was rather than moving past it, moving ahead of it somewhere. And so I'm sitting in the moment, and I have not done that in several places. And I thought that I was being present, but I really, I doesn't mean that I'm not present in other places in my life, but there's certain places that I clearly have not been present, but I've been aware. And I was mistaking. There's definitely a distinction between awareness and presence. And so it's a relationship between time and aloneness. And there's a permission that came with it, and it's been very interesting. I don't know, my past 3 or 4 writings have been about that in some way or form. um, Me kind of looking at it from whatever angle, and it's subtle. It's But it was a huge, profound shift, and it was just really teeny tiny. Can you see how big that is? That's the teeny tiny little right there in the middle there. That's how big the shift was. Yet it just changed everything. And it just there was sort of like there's there's more love involved with being present with the moment instead of moving ahead of it. Just let it doesn't mean that these moments of panic may not come up again, but I'm not alone in it now. I'm not moving past it just to get on the other side of it. I'm letting that moment stretch out into what else can be revealed about it. And it's been a very interesting phenomenon that I've been witnessing in myself, and it has to do with it's a relationship with presence and the moment. A moment, it's so interesting that a moment, you can just skip right over a moment. It looks like you're in it, but you're just over here on the other side of it, noticing it in your rear view mirror and going, oh yeah, okay, yeah, I noticed that. I'm aware of that. I have insights about that and understanding. But I wasn't really present. I wasn't allowing that moment of uncomfort to have the companionship of presence, of my presence with it. So that's what I've been doing lately. Yeah. And there's a trust that I'm not going to collapse. It's like galaxies in that turning point where galaxies are turning. It's like there's that still point, and nothing is falling apart. It's like there's a safety in it, and there's trust. And I'm not going to disappear. The food on my plate is not going to be taken away if I let it sit there for a couple microseconds longer. That I can just be with it, and then move on. Allow the moment to share whatever is going to be available in that moment, which is amazing that a moment can be longer than what we think when we're allowing it to be there and not quickly jumping over it into some other moment, trying to complete something. I can leave things incomplete. And nothing is going to collapse because I do that. That's what I got.
Susie, I want to thank you for that. Of all the people that I know, I don't believe I know anyone who does more processing and inner work on a consistent basis than you do. And it's very apparent in your writings, and I know you outside of this circle, and on a good week, I get to talk to you 5 or 6 times outside of the circle, and about all these kinds of things. And I've been sort of riding along with where you take things, and it's doesn't just impress me, but it does impress me. But it inspires me. And so, and I think anyone who reads the writings that you do prolifically will also be impressed and inspired. And I thank you for doing that for all of us, and look forward to hearing from you next week as your experience continues to unfold in the most beautiful ways for you, and giving you the opportunity to share that with us.
Well, I have no social life, so this is easy for me to just kind of sit in it. So it's,
Listen,
I don't have
John
a lot
was
of.
like, we can't give Susie a social life because she's got all this stuff that she needs to get out to humanity. And boy, if she was busy, she'd just be like the rest of the lemmings out there running around with their heads cut off. And we need you, Susie. We need you not to have a social life. Sometimes I'm like, I shouldn't talk to her very much because it distracts her from the inner work.
No, but you guys you help me you're the mirrors, it's like I see, you guys are, it's like I get everything from not just me, but from you. It's like I couldn't have, it's like you reflect, I am reflecting what's, I don't know. I've been doing a lot of things lately, so I don't know how much of it is real.
One of my favorite sayings is, there's only one of us here, and I'm glad it's you. So thank you for that. We're going to move right along. And Sylvie, are you fine to jump in here? Sylvie with the beautiful background. All right, there you go.
Oh my gosh. There's so much going on inside of me. And it's like this native story with the wolves. And it depends on which wolf you are feeding. And it's, there's this one side who experienced a lot of things that you could say, oh, that's fear. And there's the other side who says there's no reason for fear. Tomorrow you don't know, it's a great unknown. So what you are going to do? And in between there are these ups and then down, and it's how to describe. I go at this moment really deep and even think about what is it, what I want to see unfolding in the new year. And really being conscious with these things. And I really enjoy to have a lot of time by myself to really do this inner work and really look at the different parts, and even with meditation. And yesterday I did early in the morning, I was invited to a meditation for specific the winter solstice. And it was not long, it was just 10 minutes, but in this 10 minutes, and this is why I have this background, I had this really beautiful vision, a picture what was just popping up, and it was like, it was dark around me, behind me, but in the front there was a door, a big open door. And it was like, this was an invitation, just go to the door. And after the door, there's exactly what you see behind me. And for me, it's really how to keep my frequency in the frequency of joy, how to keep my frequency in the frequency of trust, how to keep my frequency in consistent gratitude for the little things. And I think specific the little things where we think this is so normal, that it's there, that we have our bed, that we have food, that we have so many things. They are just there. They are available for us every day, 24/7, no matter what. And for me, it's at this moment really to go deep in this and see it as it's not usual, and see it as a blessing that I can enjoy these things, that I have a place where I can rest, where I feel safe, that I have a place where I know there are people around me who are really care for me. Like a soul family. And I think if we can agree with all of this, we are truly blessed. And for me, I feel that I'm blessed. because I may don't have something like family, like the bloodline family, but I have my soul family. And that's for me even a way bigger thing where I can be who I am and not like who others wants me to be, where I just be authentic, where we hold and where we even invited to receive and not only to give all the time, where it is a beautiful circle of sharing, like this circle. Yeah, it's a lot and it's beautiful. I love to feel all of this, even if it brings me sometimes to want to cry, but it's a part of it. And it's beautiful. And I'm grateful for all of this, that I can feel and see even the little things. Mhm. I hope.
Oh, thank you, Sylvie. I'm just touched with everyone's sharing this evening. Yeah, so much honor and respect for all of us really taking advantage of this safe container to put our stuff out there and know that when we're the one talking, everyone else is holding the form of this container for us, and as we do when we stop talking. So Sylvie, thank you so much. That was beautiful. Stephanie, would you like to go ahead and go?
Hey. Um, well, most recently, yesterday, my body was telling me to stop. It's telling me that I had had enough. But my brain and my body don't necessarily listen to each other. So I definitely pushed myself further than I physically probably should have. Uh, and that is like my body is saying to me that I really need to get in better shape so I can continue to do all the things that I want to do. As I'm getting slowly a little bit older, uh, my body is communicating to me the need to stay consistent with maintenance and upkeep. Um, and so that's like kind of like a lot on my mind recently is how to adapt all of that into my lifestyle and my schedule so that way I can continue to do the things that I like to do for, decades to come. Because I do really enjoy doing physically intense stuff. And my body more and more over this year has been communicating with me that like I am out of shape, which brings up a lot of different emotions, like there's like ego gets a little bit of a kick in the abdomen or something, I don't know. um and then there's like a little bit of like guilt involved in it also, like realizing wow, like I've let myself like slip a little bit. um Destiny and I went on a big hike this summer and we did fine with it, but it took us forever, you guys. It took us 12 hours to do a hike. It was so long. And Destiny got so I guess I got frustrated with Destiny because she went faster than I did because she has maintained better physical shape than I have in recent years. And so we got a little frustrated with each other because my body was like, slow down, I hurt. I'm out of air, hold on. catch my breath. And then my bestest is like, no, let's run up this mountain. I'm so fit and awesome. And I'm like, Arr! And it's kind of been a recurring communication from my body to me for like probably like a year. Like I was moving around like tubs of the Himalayan healing bowls recently, and I was like, wow, I really need to start working out. Like this stuff feels really heavy right now. Um, and it's not any heavier than what I used to move around and work with 2 years ago. Uh, and so that's been a big part of what my body's been communicating to me recently is like the need for consistent strength training and like also yoga. When I do yoga, my body is not like, hey, I hurt in my back or ow, I have this pain. I'm like, wow, I feel great. When I don't do yoga, I'm like, oh, my back kind of hurts. Um, so I feel like that's kind of what's in my attention right now as far as what my body's communicating to me. Um, on that's like where I need to do improvements, and like the body does communicate. In a place where I'm winning, because I'm not quite winning there yet, is with food and like food sensitivity and like really paying attention to how my body responds to the different things that I eat. And like cutting out a lot of stuff that a year or two ago I wouldn't have been okay to cut out. And now I'm realizing that like, oh, actually that doesn't really like fully agree with how I feel, how it makes my energy feel sluggish, or like, how it affects my skin. All these different things. So I am doing well with my relationship with food. I am catching up to doing better with my relationship with actually like maintaining my physical body. So if you guys can all like, check in with me and see how I'm doing with that, that would be great because it is something that like is basically screaming to me like it's not going to get any easier later. Like you need to do it now. So yeah, that's where I'm at. I need to take better care of me.
Can I say something?
Yeah.
I'm so relating to that, Stephanie. Now I'm just a little bit older, and I was a gymnast for many years, and I was a very avid skier, and the need for speed and everything was reckless and with no abandon because I couldn't get hurt. I could jump out of an airplane at 10,000 feet and still land on my feet and be running. That's how my brain worked. Then you finally get to a point in life to where your brain, your body and your brain kind of go, you know what, that's not a good idea. And I totally get where you're coming from because even at my age, I'm like, I still want to engage, and there's hope because you can. And just as you get older, it takes a little longer to stay where we were.
Right.
And but yeah, I get that adrenaline thing, that get up on the mountain and yeah, I could really relate to what you were talking about because yeah, it's it becomes more of a challenge, but we can meet that challenge and we can embrace it and be part of it and never retire, retread. So there's lots of tread out there. We just have to keep grabbing it and putting it on. So all good.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you, Phil.
Thank you, Phil. Thank you, Destiny. That was fun to hear
Did
you share
did you-
all that.
Not notice you called me Destiny right there?
Oh, no, she just jumped on and I just approved her to jump in. Sorry.
Oh, that's hilarious. I was like, hi, Lunessa. Lunessa's my niece who still calls me Destiny.
Oh my gosh, that's funny.
I'm
No,
like,
I did not
Lunessa,
realize I did that. I'm like
you're 9,
multitasking
I'm
here.
Stephanie.
Way to go, Stephanie. Yes,
So Destiny
Stephanie.
missed my whole spiel there, my whole confession.
Yep, she
Oh,
was
wow.
away.
Destiny, you
So-
missed the good stuff, babe.
So we're going to let her go next because she's on. So we're not, who knows if she's going to be able to last. Destiny, are you ready to jump in?
Yeah.
You missed Stephanie's whole confession. So
I'm
you'll have
quite
to
upset
listen to
about
the
it.
replay.
I will have to. Yeah. So I loved reading your newsletter this week. I found so much in it that I identified with. I think this year has been a lot about not resisting for me too, and very much about learning to trust. And uh, lately, with these short days, I've really been leaning um, into going slow and taking my time and not forcing myself to have all of the answers at once, but really um, just marinating in things. And also really learning to listen to my partner. I was single for a really long time, and even before in other relationships, I was never really very good at listening to my partner, and it's been such a different experience in this relationship for me because um, we connected so deeply right from the very beginning that there was never a question. So much of the um, uneasiness of relationships was just never there because I'm not questioning whether I should be in it or I want to continue to be into it. I want it to have all of my efforts, and my partner has so many values that are like mine, but then also so many that aren't, not necessarily values, but thought processes and ways of living, and it teaches me so much. And um, so it's been very different for me to learn to not be so independent and so strictly um, committed to doing things my own way. And so it's been a whole lot of change, and a lot of what I'm learning to do is to listen and to allow and to realize that things are so much different than they've been before, and that it's just going to take some time and patience and a little bit of work every day to feel forward into what the future now holds with two destinies entwined instead of just my own.
Thank you. I appreciate that. That's always good to hear from you. This is nice. I promise not to call you Stephanie. Let's go ahead and jump over to Vienna. Are you ready to be the next contestant on the It's
Contestant,
All
yeah.
Good circle? Are you in your car?
Yeah,
Are you pulled over?
I am.
Okay, good.
Am.
As long as you're safe.
Thank you. I love the question. What am I listening to inside right now? So I was listening to Sonia Choquette yesterday while I did my cleaning job, and she was talking about angels and guides and, you know, tuning in, listening, and me and muscle testing. If I'm not sure of the answer I ask, can I, get an answer? So I'm going, just all of a sudden I had this, I feel like I know two of my angels specifically with names and whatnot, and so I'm like, have you been here wanting to speak and I haven't been listening? And it was like, yes. I'm like, oh, so, okay, then setting aside time, note to self, set aside time to tune in. It's not just like, oh yeah, we'll be your guardrails on the thing of life. We'll silently keep you from running off the edge. No, actually, we'd like to provide input if you'd like to receive it. So I was like, okay, that's one thing I'm going to increasingly be listening to. Another voice inside is my children, my own children, the ones I gave birth to. And two of them are speaking loudly with no contact right now. And I'm like, wow, they've really got my attention. And I'm not completely freaked out by it. Like I've seen some people be and thought I might be. It's like, wow, okay, I get to learn. They're demonstrating for me what boundaries are. Wow, a living example I can't ignore. Thank you. And so I'm listening to them in that sense. So that's a new kind of, in their silence, there's even more going on in my head about what I can learn from them, or in somewhere inside of me. And yesterday I tuned in with the Ancient Secrets community, and a fellow was on there. I don't think I'm going to come up with his name, and I'm not home to give it, but he has been coming up with something that is his message over the past year that he's doing with his children and whoever else will listen. And it's, I love myself. I am ridiculously, amazingly awesome. I am the luckiest person I know. I am worthy. And so he wakes up and says that to himself, and he says it to his kids. They just, they do a fist bump or something like they just see him coming and they go, they just spout it off. And so I made the decision yesterday, and let's say by next Monday, I will have done this. I now have 65. If I give each of the inner child type things for a year of my life, right? So I'm going to go and in each of those voices, all the way back to conception, feel that let's see, I love myself. I am ridiculously, amazingly awesome. I am the luckiest person I know. I am worthy. And I'm just going to do it in each year like that and have that conversation going in my head from whatever those other messages may be that they want to give my younger me's. I want to give each of them the opportunity to give voice to that. And then I also want to be listening. At some point, I got the idea that inner child work was going to that poor dear little inner child that's scared or something like that and comforting them, and it can be that. And then one time I went into like the room with 5-year-old me, and it was not at all about what she needed to hear from me. It's what I needed to hear from her. And so I want that to be increasingly, what's the wisdom of me at every age? I probably got up to about age 13 with that one time. I was going to go through each year. So note to self, go back to that too. And then the last one I'm thinking of is my own inner being, which is always aligned with source, my spirit. And so for me, sometimes that's through muscle testing, and I'm finding more and more I get a sense of it before I even muscle test. So I'm very, very, very grateful to say part of what I'm listening to with more something, more chutzpah, more willingness to hear, because once I hear it, I will for sure want to do it, except for that ego part. So listening, ready, willing, and able to listen to my spirit. That's where I am. Thank you all for listening.
Lovely, Vienna. Thank you so much for sharing. And Gail, are you there with us?
Sure. Hello. So one, apologize for being late. I just lost track of time. what am I listening to right now? Patterns. Um, Patterns in my behavior, my responses, my issues. Patterns in other people's stuff that kind of comes up into my face. Because I know that what's happening out there is something that for some reason I'm not able to see it when I look within. So if they show it to me out there, then it's sometimes it's I can recognize the pattern. Um, so um, and then I've noticed that when I'm really present, things go really well for me. And that's true whether I'm playing solitaire or doing the dishes or driving or working at work. When I'm really present, things are smooth. And when I get shiny thing, did you see that shiny thing up there? Yeah. When I allow my attention to turn, then the solitaire goes badly and the traffic just gets, and things at work get hard. So the pattern is I have to pay attention. I have to be in the moment, doing what is right in front of me, right here. If I'm doing something, now, if I'm not doing something, then it's okay for me to go off into la la land or to sit and dream or to contemplate my navel. But if I'm doing something, then I have to be right there. Um, and like most of us, my body wants me to eat well and it wants me to listen to that little voice that says, you don't really want to eat that. But there's, you know, decades of habit that says, ooh, I like caramel popcorn. And every time I've had it lately, it doesn't taste good. And the key is that when it doesn't taste good, for me to stop right then and throw it out. Don't put it away to eat later. Just literally throw it away. Because if I keep eating even 3 or 4 bites, thinking, oh, well, it's going to taste better here in a minute, at some point I can't even taste it, but I'm just eating completely unconsciously. So I'm throwing out more food than I've ever thrown away. And I'm walking away from all the goodies at work because I don't feel good and they don't taste that good. And things that are tasting good, weirdly, pizza is particularly tasty right now. But so, I mean, what I know is that there is a need for something that I'm not fulfilling with my regular diet, and I have to kind of sit and figure out what that is. But the biggest pattern to all of it is be present to the moment and to the still small voice that says, you might want to take an umbrella. Don't eat that. You might want to not eat that. Did you go for a walk? Have you been out in the sun? Slow down. Pay attention. And then when I realize I've erred in I've done something that is in error for who I want to be, back up and look at whatever the error is and decide, do I need to fix it? Like call somebody and say, I'm really sorry. I had a knee-jerk reaction. Or do I just need to not do it again? So that's where I'm at this week, and that's what I'm trying to listen to.
Thank you, Gail. I appreciate the share. I'm going to go ahead and step in. As I ask myself, what have I been listening to within, I'm also drawn to what have I been listening to without. So I find that I get a lot of messages, intuitive messages from within, from inside. And then I'm very present these days, working on lots of different projects, putting my energy out there in as big of ways as when we were touring, if not bigger right now. And there's lots of messages, the signs and messages all around me. And I'm paying attention to all of it. And what I read from my newsletter at the beginning of this circle about allowing and, has everything to do with just allowing myself to receive and to receive, maybe what I wasn't planning on, what I wasn't expecting, what I wasn't asking for, and being okay with it. And I don't know whether that comes with age of, I don't need to force anything anymore, or what it is. I'm very fortunate right now that so much of what I'm doing are what I refer to as passion projects for me. They come from a deep place of passion. They aren't involved with making money. They aren't any of that. These are things that it's important for my soul, for the very core of my being to do. And I'm enjoying it. But it is, and so the messages that I'm receiving from within, and as I refer to from without, I'm comfortable with it, and it's just, I'm just kind of going with all of it. So that's where I'm going to leave that for me. Next week, let's energize each other's visions, and the topic is going to be, where do I go from here? And each of us will have the opportunity to share what 2026, what we're energizing, where we're going, where we're putting our energies, what we're asking for, what we're opening up ourselves to from God's source, the universe, the quantum field. And knowing that in this circle, we hold space for not just our challenging times, but for the excitement and passion of our visions and everything. And since we are the core group, and we truly are the core group right now, we know that we will be here each and every week next year. And I think it'll be a nice start to the year to have that energetic of energizing each other and holding space. Sylvie, you mentioned the word soul family, and that is that's how I see us. Again, this is another. It's all good circle. I had envisioned as being something different, and didn't force it and didn't get too attached to it, and allowed it to incubate and show up the way it was truly meant to. And soul family is an accurate phrase for what I feel with all of us. And I am completely honored to be here each week with all of you, and the beautiful reflections that we are for each other. And what I learned so much from each of you every week. I just, it means a lot. And that we all are committed and we take the time to show up and to share. It's not a passive thing where we just show up. Like everybody talks and digs deep, and sometimes this month, once we dug deep to be funny, and most of the time we dig deep to feel our emotional body and to share it, and to maybe by going through that process, we help someone else here, but also by going through that process, we help ourselves, because it puts us in a different space to be reflective as we are sharing. And that's pretty awesome. Now, on January 12th, I will be, that's 3 weeks from now. Yes. I will be sharing one of my passion projects with all of you. And it's been in the gestation process for since May. And we got the thumbs up today. I got the pieces fell into place. I'm not going to give it away yet, but it will be launched in this group on January 12th, and I will be asking for each of you I will be offering each of you a experience of what this is about. So looking forward to that. I am super excited for Christmas. Someone was telling me today that this is the least excited they've been about Christmas maybe ever. And I said, oh, that's so funny, kind of, in that this is like the most excited I've been about Christmas in years, because we're in our space here. We've done an amazing job, Stephanie and Bliss and myself, at nesting and creating this incredibly sacred space for us to be. And it is, we have 2 Christmas trees in here, and I haven't spent Christmas with Stephanie's family in a while. And so it's just, it's exciting, and it's going to be beautiful and low key and good food and just a special time. So I'm hoping that that is also true for each of you in whatever it is that your soul needs during this holiday time. I'm energizing that you receive that. Gail, do you want to say something?
Yeah, I have my calendar's showing me that I have somehow deleted a week from today. Are we meeting a week from today, or are we skipping?
No, we're meeting a week from today. That's
we are?
the
Okay.
29th. It's in between, I mean, we're not going to get any less people than we have today. And so I'm game, and I really am excited to hear what everyone's got brewing for next year and where their attention is. And I want to attention with you on your dreams and visions. And then, like I say, it's just fun because we get to be with each other each week as those things unfold and they take the twists and turns, I'm pretty sure that all of us, we, like I said earlier, man plans, God laughs. So maybe we'll all plan together, and then maybe we'll all laugh together, in 2026 a little bit, but we do all laugh together anyway. And so, yeah. So I'm feeling pretty content. Now we are, a little bit early tonight. Does anyone want to step in? Phil, you just unmuted. That normally means you've got something to say.
I do. And it was kind of interesting as I was listening to you talk about passion. Some people are, I guess, chosen to go to the beach later in life. And some of us are chosen to stay in and take care of things. And, I guess, and I've looked at this. Sometimes I look at the beach and I go, yeah, that'd be fun, but yeah, for a few days. But then I'm just not good at just walking the beach every day. And I enjoy being engaged and apparently and I say we because we were chosen to do something a little different. And so the way that we were built and made and think and whatnot, it was not, 14 years ago when I turned 60, my father said to me, and he retired when he was 58. He said to me, "Are you ready to retire?" And I said, "What's that?" And he said, "Good, don't." He said, "I retired way too young." He said, first couple of years were good, but he said, after that, I should have been working, So, if I ever listened to my father, I guess, and he's listening right now, I'm sure, he would go, "Oh, you actually listened to me?" But no, I just wanted to bring that up because, yeah, we're just here having a great time and doing what we do. And that's the way we were made. And we'll do it for as long as we can. And then we'll go on and do it somewhere else. So it's the All Good Show.
Thank you, Phil. I do appreciate you. And it is all good, lest we forget. And I will put it out there that anyone that's here in this circle that wants to connect, that's feeling that they would like a little more connection, or anyone that watches this online, I do know that the holidays can be, for some people, a less than comfortable time. And you're not alone. My phone number, 928-254-9449, available for anyone and everyone, and you just reach out. And it's love to have a conversation with you if you'd love to have a conversation with me. I want to thank you all for being here tonight, and with all the conviction, if not even a little bit more than every other time I've said it, I love you all very much, literally and figuratively. And I look forward to us all being together next week, as I do every Monday till the next Monday. Thank you all for showing up on the It's All Good Circle and in your own lives. You are needed, you are appreciated, and let's get out there and do what we're to do. We'll see you all next week. Thank you.
Merry Christmas, everybody.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas.
Love you all.
Good holidays.
Lots of magic time.